and welcome back to the Tea and a Butty podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
And today's episode we're going to be talking about the 10 biggest songs never to reach number one on the UK charts.
Oh, this is such an interesting topic.
Yes.
Maybe we can find a reverse article too, because...
We'll find one about Billboard, the US
Yes.
charts.
Yeah, because...
Because, you know, like, songs that are hits.
Yeah.
Like number one songs. It's like, sometimes, you know, they could be number one for like a couple of weeks and people won't remember them.
Well, what's funny is, like, I think shortly after you got here, like, some old Rod Stewart song came on the radio. And I was just like, oh yeah, I love this song. And I was singing it, and you were just looking at me like, I have never heard this song in my life.
I mean...
And I was like, how could...
I can't remember
It
which
just
one
never
it was.
occurred to me that some songs, especially maybe even by, like, a British artist...
Well, Rod Stewart is a very good example of that, actually.
Could have a really big, like, huge hit over here, and it not do anything in Britain, or vice versa.
Well, Rod Stewart's a good example of that, because, I can't remember which song it was now that came on over here.
It was that, I can't remember the name of it, but it goes, Old Motown Records will put the speakers in the window and we'll go on the roof and listen to the miracles echo through the
We're not going to look it up,
below.
so you let us know down below what Rod Stewart that song that is.
Yeah.
But no, on the flip side, Rod Stewart being a very good example of that is we were watching Men Behaving Badly, the UK version, when I first got here.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where they're all in the pub and they're all drunk and they're singing, "We are sailing across the sea." And you're just like, oh, what's that song? It's like, is it an old drinking song? And someone said, no, Rod Stewart had a hit with it. And I was like, Rod Stewart had a hit with it?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, it's a very popular song.
Yeah. I mean, it makes a little bit...
sailing. Sailing, it's called.
It makes a little bit more sense, I guess, when it's like a British artist having a hit in Britain that doesn't do anything over here. But when it's...
Because when you think of someone like the Beatles, they had hits pretty much the same.
Yeah.
Even though Capitol did kind of like release songs... chop and change up the albums, and they released songs from the albums as singles over here to make more money or whatever, and they got to number one. But it's kind of like...
There were some different singles over here than there were in Britain, weren't there?
Yeah, but I'm talking about like hits that people know.
Yeah.
You know? It's like everybody knows that the mainline hits, like I Want to Hold Your Hand, and
I mean, the Beatles,
I Feel Fine, and
it's kind of
She
difficult.
Loves You, and all that.
It's kind of difficult to use the Beatles as an example because they're just so worldwide popular, you know what I mean? Like, everybody, like, the fans know all the songs.
Know.
Yeah.
They know things.
But anyway, this is an interesting... I can't believe we've never done this podcast before, actually, so let's get into it.
Well, yeah, these are, like, the biggest songs never to reach number one, and you think, they would be a number one hit. You know?
These are the biggest British artists?
British, on number one on the UK charts, anyway.
Never to hit number one over here. Okay.
Like...
But we don't know where they hit, or do we?
Well, it's sure... The chart peak is here.
Okay.
They've got it... This is from the BBC's... an article by the BBC from the official charts company. And number one is Mr. Brightside.
Oh, yeah.
And I think by The Killers.
Mm.
And that's like one they use all the time at weddings. And I've seen it on like line. People go, why has that been a thing since they released that? Song has been like a wedding staple. It's like, oh no, never felt like this. And she's all in a cab. And it's like, what that song is kind of... It never hit number one.
And you were surprised to find out that they're American, The Killers. Right? You were like, The Killers are American. I was like, I didn't know either, actually.
Yeah, they were from LA, I think.
Somewhere, yeah.
They got big in Britain, though. I think it was this song, actually.
Oh, yeah.
But this only peaked at number 10 on the charts.
Oh, God, that's funny.
So it's like one of
those...
So
these are British and American and whoever artists. Yeah. Just songs that everybody has heard.
Everybody's heard, and you'd think, it got to number one, but it didn't.
Yeah.
You know?
It must have, like... These must be songs that are, like, films. There's the same kind of thing happens in film occasionally, like The Wizard of Oz. Everybody would be shocked to learn
that wasn't a big hit. When
it was a
bomb.
I think it bombed. It bombed at the box office when it came out.
Well, it was too. You think about it. It was released in 1939.
Yeah, I think so.
That was weird for everyone back then.
Yeah.
It only gained popularity when they started showing it on TV, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, Wizard of Oz." Yeah,
you would have thought,
and that was by the 1960s.
You would have thought the black and white into color thing would have been like a draw. Would have been like ooh. Let's
well, it probably
see
was,
this,
but then they were just like, "Oh, what is this? What's this about?"
Yeah.
What is this about? Film goers at the time in 1939.
Yeah.
So when they started putting on TV in the 60s, when everything was groovy and psychedelic, this fit right in, you know?
Yeah.
It found its audience, you know?
Yeah.
But yes, we digress.
But but this is the same thing, but just in music.
Yeah.
It's songs that everybody's heard of, and then you're just shocked to, oh, what? That was never
I guess you could call
this
this biggest songs never to reach number one, biggest songs never to reach number one, but have a cult following.
Yeah, kind of like that.
A big cult following. Wonderwall by Oasis.
That is shocking.
Well, it's shocking, especially in Britain, because Oasis had a good run of number ones.
You hear that song on the radio. Actually, the Killers, Mr. Brightside. You hear these songs on the radio still all the time.
Yeah.
You would just assume, like, oh yeah, that was obviously a number one when it came out because they're still playing it, you know?
Yeah.
But no.
But Wonderwall by Oasis, everybody knows that one. That's the classic. It's an easy song to play. I think it only got to number 2. It says here.
And this is in the UK, so I'm curious if it hit number 1 over here. Wonderwall.
Maybe.
Or Mr. Brightside, actually. Yeah. We'll have to go look it up. Let us know if you happen to know, because we don't have those here. This is just the BBC article. But yeah, I would be curious actually to know. Maybe we'll put that on our Instagram. We'll look it up and we'll put a little thing up.
I don't, we haven't looked up what was keeping it from number 1 here. Wonderwall by Oasis. I have a feeling it was probably a Spice Girls song.
Oh yeah,
around the time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The number 3 is All of Me by John Legend. All of me loves all. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that one. Yeah. That one only made it to number 2 in the UK.
That's a great song, but I don't know if it surprises me. It's not as huge a song. Like, if you're just listening to the radio, or if you're flicking station to station, driving down the road, and you're just hitting, scan, and you don't hear that song as often. Well, you know what I mean?
But that was huge when it came out.
Yeah, it's a great song.
And it only got to number 2.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling it was probably kept from number 1 by some silly novelty song in the UK. The Jacket Potato Man.
Oh, God.
Or the Sausage Rolls, or whatever, Lad Baby, or something like that, because everyone's sick of Lad Baby now, getting Christmas number 1. It's like, I don't care about sausage rolls. I don't want to hear another song about sausage rolls. Anyway, look up Lad Baby if you're interested. They're an internet thing.
They love a novelty song in the UK, though.
Yeah. Yes. Oh God, yes they do. Take Me to Church by Hosier.
Oh, yeah.
That got to number 2.
That's a song.
Take me to church.
Yeah, that's a song they play all the time too.
Saturday night. Wasn't it?
No. Not that I can remember.
You can sharpen my knife. That's it. It's not Saturday night. See, got to number 2 on Hosier. Yeah, that was a big one over here. That may have, but again, they just get radio play, and it doesn't necessarily mean, because people are like, oh, do the charts really mean anything anymore? Thanks to the internet. It's just like, oh, this is popular because TikTok says it's popular.
Yeah.
Everyone's using this song, so it's a hit. Number 1, mate. Number 1.
Wait, what charts are these?
Official charts.
Official charts.
Yeah, the UK.
That's
official.
all. It's just official.
It's official.
Over here, it's the Billboard.
Billboard 100, yeah, but the official charts company is like...
But yeah,
But these are the biggest songs never to be hit number 1, but Mr. Brightside is streamed 1.8 million times a week on average in the UK.
I was going to say, I have a feeling that these kind of charts are becoming old-fashioned.
Yeah.
And they're being replaced by the streaming.
I think,
how many times has it been streamed, you know, the most streamed song?
That's the thing. Because, you know, years ago it was buying. It was how many people have bought this.
Yeah.
You know?
It'll be like, oh, this song, such and such song, you know, Take Me to Church by Hozier was streamed 7 million times this week. You know, it'll be that kind of thing.
Before
Is it Hozier or Hoosier?
Hosier?
Hosier!
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 Hosier! Hosier, like Javier.
Like nougat.
And yes. Listen, I'm French, okay? I know how to say these things. No, but Mr. Brightside is streamed 1.8 million times a week on average in the UK.
Wow.
And it's not bad for a song that only reached number 10 in the UK on its second release in 2004, and it didn't chart at all the first time around.
Second release?
Yeah,
why would there be a second release?
Because that's all they had. You know, they didn't have enough push behind it when they released The Killers. They didn't have anything when they were over here. They didn't have anything. They didn't know about anything. No, they just weren't that popular at all. And then they signed with a UK record company that was like an indie, and then they started pushing them in the UK because they kind of had that kind of like Green Day pop punk sound, you know.
Yeah.
And so people thought they were British.
That's why we didn't know they weren't British.
So I'm calling a cab, an old white mate. Yeah, Hosier. And
sometimes Dominic says over here, and he means the UK. He forgets where he lives sometimes.
No, over here they weren't.
I know, but you do that sometimes.
And it's a crowd favourite, you know. Everybody's like got a mosh to it, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, carrying on. We had Take Me to Church by Hosier. Hoosier? Hosier.
Hozier.
Hosier.
Hozier, Hoosier. Hozier, I think.
Who's your mama?
Oh my god. Oh, Lord.
Fairy Tale of New York by the Pogues.
That is shocking.
Well, no, that got to number 2. I think it was kept off by Band-Aid or something, maybe, or some re-release of the song, because it was supposed to be, but everybody would like swear now. Since Shane MacGowan died, everyone was like, "Oh, get it to number 1."
Yeah, and they didn't.
I don't think it got to number 1. No.
I mean, the thing is we don't know that song over here.
Yeah, you don't. Well, you're starting to, because there's starting to be a little bit of homogenization over here. You know,
thanks to TikTok,
America's becoming Britain again. And Britain's
Make America
always been
Britain again.
Well, it is. No, because people are starting to say bloody and bugger and...
Are they?
Yeah, and they're starting to
Who
say...
says that?
And they're starting to listen to Fairy Tale of New York, and they're starting to say stuff like Hosier instead of Hosier and Who's Your Mama. But no, I've noticed it. I was like, okay, yeah, you start to say, oh, that... You know, they're starting to say it on American shows.
I don't
know. Like, unironically, you know, not like
Yeah.
they're trying to be British or anything. You know, it's just, like, coming out naturally.
British like that and do your arm like...
Like Joe? Like Joe from Vanderpump Rules?
No, they don't know who you're talking about.
Yes, they do. My Vanderpump Rules people know who I'm talking about when I say Joe. With the hoe-down arm, you know.
The hoe-down
That's what they call it. Why is she always doing that hoe-down arm? You know, like...
Yeehaw.
Cotton Eye Joe.
Oh, yeah, it is like that.
I think that was number 1 in the UK.
But anyway,
that was everywhere.
But anyway, the Fairy Tale of New York, that song is really, really, like...
It's a terrible song. And it was Shane MacGowan who says, I'm going to write an anti-Christmas song.
Yeah.
You know, which is more rooted in
realism. And of course, British people love it.
British people love it. They absolutely love it.
It was Christmas time in the drunk tank.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, I urge you all to listen to Fairy Tale of New York, and I know some of you do. The next one is Castle on the Hill by Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
Over the castle on the hill.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me.
That was number 2.
British people do not like Ed Sheeran for some reason.
Well, I mean, they don't like him, but he is getting up in the charts.
They don't like James Corden. They don't like Ed Sheeran.
James Corden and Ed Sheeran should form a band. And they should tour the UK, and they should and all the councils should be mandatory, allowed make people go watch them.
I don't know why people don't like Ed Sheeran.
We love torturing people, don't we?
I don't know why they don't like Ed Sheeran, but I wonder if that song was number one even over here, Castle on the Hill. I mean, you do hear it a lot, but...
His number ones are usually like he's written songs with Justin Bieber or something, you know?
Yeah.
Him and Justin Bieber have, like, formed a band or whatever, haven't they?
Well, I don't
Well, no, they're just, like, songwriting thing. They
songwriting thing.
They should go on tour together.
They know each other.
They know each other.
They know each other or something. We don't know.
Right, this next song, I don't know what it's called. What it is. Riptide by Vance Joy.
Do. Yes, you do.
Right, sing it then.
It's got
to number 10 in the UK.
Yeah, you know it.
But it's apparently a huge one.
Oh, I can't think how it goes. Yeah,
it's obviously not one of the biggest songs. You don't know how it goes.
No, you know it. You do know
Riptide.
it. No.
Riptide.
No, that's not it.
I'll get my acoustic guitar out. I warn you. Vance Joy.
Yeah. Oh God, we'll have to
don't do the guitar.
We'll have to pause here so I can have a second to look it up because you definitely know it. Yes, closest thing to Michelle Pfeiffer that you've ever seen.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know now. Ooh,
you come undone. Then I have the riptide.
Oh, and that's got a weird lyric, hasn't it? I mean, not the Michelle Pfeiffer thing, but it's like...
something about, I'm going to sing the words wrong.
Yeah, I've got a lump in my throat, because you're going to sing the words wrong.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Vance Joy. Not very joyful.
You know that song.
What about this next one? Pompeii by Bastille.
Oh,
number
God.
2.
You should have had me look that up when I was looking the other one up. Pompeii, Bastille. I know Bastille. I know the band name.
Yeah. The walls come tumbling down in the city that I love.
Yeah.
That's the one.
But yeah, see, okay, so Riptide and Pompeii, obviously, we're not that surprised that they didn't hit number 1. Because
Riptide only hit number 10.
Because we couldn't think even
that
what
wasn't
they
even
were.
up. Pompeii was number 2, so that was obviously a bigger one. Next one, Let Her Go by Passenger.
Yes, it's your favorite song.
Oh, yes. If you love her, don't let her go. What's it go?
It doesn't go like that, but yes, that is the voice.
Let her go.
Yeah, they played it in some, like, detective
show.
thing that we watched. And it was just like, the girl died, and they were just like, she was murdered or something.
You gotta love her, you let her go, because I buried her.
So let her go. Yeah, you know that one. You had the voice right, just I can't think of the two.
If you love her, just let her go. Just let her go. It's like, yeah, I mean, that got to number 2.
Yeah, oh God, yeah. You were sick to death of that song, and I quite liked it.
Yeah, she kept turning it up, and I kept turning it down. It's like, I don't want to hear that song. I'd rather hear Hozier. I'd rather hear Take Me to Church by Hozier. Thank you very much.
Oh my God.
Yes, if you love her,
you let her go. Oh my God.
The next one, I do like the next one. It got to number 3 on the UK. It peaked at number 3 on the UK charts. Budapest.
Yeah.
By George Ezra.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really good one. Actually, I thought you were sick of that song as well.
I get sick of every song except the Beatles, really. That's all for me. It's like I get sick of every song, like when they trying to play it. Because it's like there's uncounted hours of music out there.
Well, yeah.
Billions, trillions of hours of music.
Yeah.
And, they could play all this song, but they're like, oh, no, I don't want to play this. It's like, I miss, because over here, the DJs, there's not really any DJs, is there?
What do you mean there's not DJs?
No, it's all like corporate stuff.
Who do you think all the people are that we listen to in the mornings?
Those are just AI. They're AI guys. They're AI people. Yeah, and they will be at some point, I'm sure.
There are DJs, but yeah, I mean, they're told what to play. It's not like the olden days where they get to just play or they take people calling in.
I don't agree with that.
I don't think they do that in Britain either.
Yeah, no. The BBC have to allow people if they to play songs.
Are you making that up? I mean, are you just assuming that? Or
I'm assuming that because it should be the way it should be.
Yeah, that is the way it should be. No, because,
I mean, at the end of the day, if you, listen to Radio 2, they have a more eclectic kind of, thing. Because Radio 1 is for, the hits. The dance hits, the pop hits. That's for the biggest artists of the day, now.
Yeah.
Radio 2 is for, remember this one from 20 years ago? Getting jiggy with it? Will Smith? Yeah, and it's just oh, yeah,
Yeah.
That was more than 20 years ago. It's 25 years ago now, but...
Yeah. I mean, you have, over here, we have Magic 95.5. And that's sort of a just mix of today's hits and older hits.
There is no Radio 3.
But I still think even then, the programming is decided for them.
Well, yes, I think there's some sort of okay.
Whereas I can remember even.
But over here, it's more just okay, we're just going to play Castle on the Hill on repeat
every hour
on repeat. Yeah, and it's that would get very annoying.
Not on repeat, but yeah, we're going to play it in the rotation. Yeah, in the rotation.
Story gets played on TBS.
Yeah.
Every Christmas Day.
Yeah.
On repeat, it's the whole day.
Yes.
And it's you could make a show, and have a Christmas special and put it on TBS.
Yeah.
On Christmas Day.
Yeah. Instead
of just having that on repeat every day.
That's become a tradition. I don't know. It's been for the last 30 years or something. But when I was a kid, it was already starting to lean toward corporate programming. The DJs would be sent lists, of
yes,
these are the songs we're playing for the next 3 months or whatever, this quarter, let's say.
Yeah.
But you could still call in, because I remember I would try to call in and request songs. Sometimes they played them, sometimes they didn't. You would call in and request a song. They'd be sure, yeah, listen to it. Look for it in the next hour, and I'd be sitting there in front of the radio for the whole hour, and they'd never play it. And I'd be oh, they didn't play it!
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just to keep you listening.
Yeah.
That was designed to keep
But sometimes they would play it, or they'd put someone on the radio, can you play such and such? And they'd go, yeah, you got it, and they'd play it then,
Yes. Yeah.
And I always wanted that to be me, but they didn't. I don't remember them. So I would call in and request songs.
I mean, I don't know. It's a different kind of. I mean, over here, corporations are okay, we've been paid by a record company to promote this single. We're going to play this
because
forever.
Because I think every major city has a Kiss FM, and they all play the same stuff. You know, every city has we have Bob
FM.
Bob FM that plays a mixture of stuff. Every city has that, but they'll be Steve FM or Jack FM or whatever. It's owned by the same corporation.
Yes.
Though, and it kind of feels when you're listening to it, oh, this is a cool station because they play everything. But even then, if you listen to it long enough, they're going to repeat the cycle of the songs you heard in the morning. They're going to be playing again in the evening.
Yes. I mean, really, when you think about it, it's just because at the end of the day, it's kind of on BBC radio. I'm just going on the BBC now,
Yeah.
They have people who have their shows. They used to have Steve Wright. He's gone now, but they'll have Michael Ball, or they'll have Lauren Laverne, or someone. And they'll have their show. And I'm presuming they kind of the BBC. Okay, play this song and this song and this song. The rest is up to you. You can play whatever you want.
Yeah.
Just going. Oh, I've been thinking about. I don't know. Fairy Tale in New York or whatever. I'm going to play this song. By the Rolling Stones that, hasn't been played in 30 years on the radio or whatever, And they'll just play it and it'll just be oh.
Well, the way radio used to work, and to bring it back to the Beatles again, because for us, everything always goes back to the Beatles.
Back to the Beatles.
But it's like a band or a person could get a song like today that would be like, oh, they got it trending. They were the original influencer because they're the ones who like presented this song to the masses, and people picked it up and, oh, that's popular in this city, so we're going to play it and see if our city likes it. George Harrison got in on that, his very first trip to the United States, and took their little record that was going in Britain,
his sister Louise.
To some radio stations, I think in New York City, right? Like he stopped in New York City on the way there, or was it in Illinois?
It was in Illinois. They went to the local radio station.
Because he went to New York City. I just assumed he did it there
and they were kind of like,
But I think they did. They did play it. I'm sure I've seen a story from somebody going, oh yeah, I remember hearing that on the radio before they became like huge, popular over here. Yeah, because you could do that back then. You could go, oh, take your take your record that you made to a radio station and go, could you play this? And they'll...
Yeah, you couldn't do that now.
No.
Couldn't even, I've got this song, do you want to play it? Nah.
I think it has to do with, and I have no idea, we're not in radio, that's why we have a podcast. But I think it must have to do with, like...
Well, this is the new radio, I think, because everyone has a podcast.
Well, the new talk radio, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're just talking!
Because I think if we wanted to play music, we would still have to get the permission.
Yes. We couldn't do that unless we would, like, we can only do that on Patreon, where they can't get us. You got to pay to, like, complain.
But I think... where they can't get us more.
Well, it is, because, you see a lot of these YouTubers who watch films and react to films. They go, watch the full uncut film on my Patreon, I've watched, it's a complete and utter watch along. But on YouTube, obviously it's going to be chopped and changed every 5 minutes in case of a copyright strike.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we should do that on our Patreon.
What? Watch films?
Watch films, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let us know. Our patrons, if you want to become a patron, go sign up.
Yeah, and
Tea and a Butty.
Yeah, and if you are one of our patrons, let us know if you like that idea. Because I didn't think about that.
Yeah, we were going to do it on Discord, but then things just got away from us, Yeah. Couldn't quite get the timing right.
Yeah.
For a live
we'd still like to do it.
We'd still like to do it. We were going to do it with like TV shows and stuff, and I've got like a bunch of things. But yeah,
but maybe we could just react on YouTube and put that on our Patreon.
We'll film ourselves reacting to the film of your choice.
But anyway, I think it must have to do with that they like I would say they license a certain number of songs to like play, let's say, every quarter, and then they change them out like with whatever's hot. Although when Taylor Swift had her the Tortured Poets department recently, a lot of the radio stations here, granted it was overnight, it was during the like midnight to even later hours, but they played her album like all night long, beginning to end.
That was probably a license.
It was part of like a release,
thing, and it's like you can only play it on this date, and then if we catch you playing it after that,
I guess so. Yeah,
it's kind of like with Disney when the Beatles get back and Let It Be. They've only got access to those songs from that period.
Oh yeah,
it's like they can't just go, oh well, we own the Beatles now, so we can start putting out Beatles movies and stuff, and with all the songs and stuff. Yeah. They've only licensed that little bit for this amount of time. It's probably going to come off Disney Plus at some point.
Yeah.
Get Back or Let It Be,
I don't know, yeah. But anyway, was that the whole list? That wasn't very many.
Yeah, it was only 10. 10 songs. We'll do the 10 songs that from the US next time, I think.
Yeah, and like I said, if you don't follow us on Instagram already, give us a follow over there, and I'll try to, if I can remember. I always tell you guys I'm going to do things, and I always forget to do them.
Do them.
I will try to. And if I forget, shoot me a thing and I'll do it,
shoot me a message.
Shoot me a message on Instagram
is where we'll see it.
I will try to look up each of these songs that we mentioned in this podcast to see if they did, in fact, hit number 1 in the United States. And we'll just put it like, it'll be a little pane in our story, right? Like,
a little
a pane?
Pane.
A panel?
A panel?
What do they call it? A slide?
I thought you meant like it's a pane.
No, like a pane.
Like a window pane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
Like a panel in us.
Slide.
A slide. That's it. That's the one. It's the heat, people. It's very hot here. It's very hot in Austin right now. It's hugely hot.
It's supposed to be
we're literally running on battery power here, and I'm very impressed that the laptop has actually managed.
Oh my god! Why are we doing that?
Well, I don't know. Because of the heat.
Got to plug it in. Okay, so we better wrap this up in case everything, just dies here in a second. But thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. We really appreciate your support. As we mentioned before, give us a follow on our Patreon. Become a patron. If you would like, you'll get various extra content. We do extra podcasts, post pictures, just general discussion.
I need to post some more pictures as well on there.
Yeah. It's patreon.com/T&A-Butty, B-U-T-T-Y. Other than that, give us a follow on all the social medias. We are at TButty, TEABUTTY, everywhere. Shout out to our patrons for their continued support.
Thank you very much.
And we'll talk to you all next time.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.